Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Stephen with Gooseops, and I had some information today. Had a really great meeting with a guy who goes by the name of Scofie, and we talked a little bit about business development and things like that. And so I'm working through kind of what I need to be doing for Gooseops to make things happen, to make things successful. And one of the things that he said that I should do, amongst many, so specifically always be doing something, but also one of the things, he helped me kind of design a plan to move forward, and a plan to kind of to build out an ideal client profile and things like that. And so that was really cool. But one of the things that he suggested that I do, just to kind of get started on, and just to kind of keep track of the things that we're going to be working through, is he suggested that we work on, or that we get up and running a CRM. And since I host a lot of my own software and things like that, I was like, oh, a CRM, that's not interesting. I never thought about that. And it would be good to be able to track my clients instead of using something like an Excel spreadsheet, which I kind of briefly started at one time and realized that it was going to be a gigantic pain in the rear end to do something like that. And so I was like, oh, a CRM. Probably there's an open source version of that. And so I did some fact finding before this video, and there were two CRMs that looked interesting. One was Odoo. I assume that's how you pronounce it, or Odoo. Probably Odoo actually. And this had a community page. And if we pop over here to the on-premises section, we're going to bookmark that. It looked like it was pretty simple to set up. We need a Postgres, we need access to a Postgres database, and that's pretty much it. A quick configuration allows us to kind of get where we need to get to. So I already got a Postgres database running and hosted, and so it's just a matter of adding the user in the database, and we should be good to go. And then the other one that came up was Sweet CRM, which used to be Sugar CRM, and Sweet CRM is also it's actually only, oh no, they do have a cloud version. I didn't look as much into this one, but it is self-hostable. Let's see, and oh, there it is, right there, hosting your own server. So it looks like it's right here. That's not a whole lot of documentation. So I wonder, yeah, okay. Is it a .deb package? It's a zip package. Interesting. That's minimal. So there's gonna be a lot more discovery work. I'm sure it'll be fine to host it on a Linux server. I say I'm sure. I suspect it'll be fine. But now that I'm reading through this, here we go. Installing Sweet CRM, start here. Yeah, okay, cool. Is this Nginx recommendation kind of thing? Apache. Okay. Yeah, cool. And so then it has the process, which is a download, and then put it in your HTML. Okay, cool. Your HTML serve directory, and set some permissions. Looks pretty simple. Alright, but I didn't decide on that one. I decided on Odoo because Odoo had an ERP offering with it as well. And so I was like, okay, cool, let's try that then. So let me do a quick plug for them. So they have free trials. I think they even actually have a free version if you just do one app. So like you don't get much with this. You get one app, but it is 100% free. And then there's standard, which is all apps, and then the custom $50 per user per month gives you multi-company, external API, etc. So some other stuff, right? And what's interesting is that these prices are actually pretty inexpensive, especially if you're a solopreneur or just somebody who's not you're not doing a whole lot of you don't have a whole lot of people that are going to be using this. This is actually a very reasonable price. But because I work in DevOps and infrastructure and automation, then I thought it'd probably best for me to be doing this on my own servers. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Took a little bit of fact finding to figure out where everything was. But real quick, Odoo is basically a collection of apps, and each app allows you to do different things. So they have a signing app, a CRM. I think there's an ERP in here. There's an HR. Lots of things that I can be doing. It's probably way more powerful than I'm going to need initially, but I think it's gonna be pretty fun to get it up and running and just kind of click around and see it. And anyway, so I thought I would record this video, and we would go ahead and get started. The installation process looks very, very simple and pretty well documented compared to some of the other things that I've installed recently. So coming off the heels of installing OpenClaw and getting it to work with all of the local stuff, this I'm hoping is going to be nice and comfortable. Okay, so the on-premises situation installation is over here, and we're going to need, so it needs Postgres install. We're not going to do this locally on the machine. We're going to do it on our Postgres database, obviously. And then we're going to add the GPG key and the apt repository, and then we're going to install it. It looks pretty simple to me, and we have quite a few Ansible playbooks over here that do very similar things, so we'll probably be able to use a lot of the same processes from there. And then you can just download it. The problem with downloading it, this is what I didn't like. The download is not I can't just download it. You have to do this page in order to just download it. So usually, if I needed to download a .deb package, I would right-click this and I would say copy link. Except if you notice, it's not a link. If I click download, it requires me to fill out this form. And you can fill out this form with fake data, and it will allow you to go to the download page, and that's fine. But I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan, and because I can't automate that. I can't automate the form. I mean, I guess I could automate the form filling out and then getting to the download. And probably I could figure out where the download actually is for this file. But once I get past the form filling out, I could probably do that, and then that would work. But it's not guaranteed to work all the time, and this is a very simple script to automate, and gives us the upgrade process as well. So I don't have to worry about getting the new deb package when I need the upgrade. So this will actually upgrade with it. The only concern about this is that these are, I believe, nightly builds. Maybe not. So never mind. Not nightly builds. Also interesting that this has something to do. I'm not sure where this comes from because it's after Postgres, so we may have to deal with some kind of installation of this package, this pip package, but we'll see. The reason I question it is because it's here right before the repository, and so I don't know if this is considered a requirement or what. It's in the prepare section, but I guess we'll look at it real quick. So RPM and deb package. Oh, okay, cool. So if we do have to do it, it'll just be a .deb download. We don't need that anymore. So we'll find out if we have to do that or not. It must be installed manually for it to support headers and footers. Check out this. All right, is there information? So there's a bunch of things that Ah, okay. So this looks like it's specifically designed. Okay, so the problem here is this package. Got it. So this package that comes with must be downloaded. It appears first. Okay, cool. That's easy enough. So what we'll do is we'll grab the .deb right here, and we'll grab that link address and download it, and it won't be an issue at all. If that's the thing. Okay, sweet. Um, so what I'm gonna do, what I like to do a lot of times if I'm not in a super big hurry, is I like to start by building a machine and getting everything installed, and then making sure all the scripts work, and then build it in. So making sure that I don't hit any weird things that aren't documented. Make notes of them if I need to, and then I build out the Ansible playbook to confirm all of that thing. So there's two things that we need to do. Let's go ahead and just pull up our notes real quick. And that was a nice little transfer from something that I was working on from my personal cell phone. That's already done though, so it doesn't matter too much. And then this was a curl request from OpenClaw, so we can give that to. Cool. All right. So let's just do a quick what to do next in our notes section of the repository. So this is for Odoo. All right, what are we going to do? We are going to create proxmox VM, create postgresql user db and password. And then we're going to manually run through the Odoo installation docs. That's pretty simple. Okay, just don't get distracted. All right. So the first thing is we're going to do one of these guys, and if I think on the original screen, this is probably really small for some of you, but we stop at 112, and so the next one's going to be 113, and yeah, so we're going to run 113, and I think we can just copy OpenClaw. Also, OpenClaw can be much smaller, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to copy OpenClaw to odoo.tf. That's fine, and hit refresh there. Okay. Alright, now, as you can see here, I keep all of my secrets and credentials in a secrets manager. So we use Doppler for that, and so that is all up there and saved. I probably should. I have not found a secrets manager that has an API that I can use with Terraform yet. That's super polished, and so I don't. Yeah, I currently still use Doppler. I like Doppler a lot. This we decided was going to be 113. Alright, we're going to start with like a 4 and a 4. What is that? 4096? Yeah. And then this is fine. And I don't think this needs to be super fast, so we're going to go. Wait, did I put that? Oh, that was an accident. I didn't mean to do that. We're going to do this. But we're going to do it on B. And I'm going to actually just start with like 20. I don't think it needs to be super big. And then we need to give it make sure OpenClaw. Yeah, okay, we need to give it a description. So, does it give us an about page? Love to see it, and here we go. Our company. Here we go. This is what I need right here. And then we keep it at perfect. And then we need the docs page, which is going to be right here. And this description supports Markdown. Okay. Alright, so that gives us what we need for the VM. And we should be able to run Terraform plan. This should fail, yep, because we need to init. And I'm sorry if it's hard to see all this stuff. And then we can run Terraform apply. And then over here we should get a 113. Change it, yep. Over here to the side, I'm going to go ahead and add a configuration, an SSH configuration for Odoo. And so I should now have a machine that I can SSH to, and I do. Alright, and so I'm pretty sure this is good, and I believe that package is kept back. So here we go, we have our machine right here, and it should have the hardware that we requested. So we can just do a summary. 4 CPUs, 4 gigs of RAM. Which should be good to go. I think we're probably still fine on resources. RAM usage is getting pretty up there. That's not great, actually. We may need to do a bit of a check on that one. But because we're running out, but we should be okay for a bit. Like I said, OpenClaw is not using anywhere near the RAM, but it's been given. Even that number is super inflated because it's mostly buffer and cache. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I digress, or I get distracted easily. Okay, so in our terminal, we've run the things that we wanted to run, and what I'm going to do now, actually, is, so we have a virtual machine, so we actually took care of this. Check. Alright, so now we need the Postgres user, database, and password. I am going to be doing this on, do I have, alright, I'm going to pause the stream for a second and pull up actually I'm just going to turn off the desktop for a second, and then I'm going to pull up a new window and then put it over here, and then we can turn that back on, and over here I'm going to go to Doppler. And I should be logged in over here, and we're going to create using the same kind of process. So in Ansible I have a bunch of inventory files. Most of them / all of them don't have secrets in them. This inventory directory is not committed to source control, but even so, I don't believe any of these have secrets in them, but you might see some sensitive information, even though they're not secrets. Like, I think there may be some IP addresses in here, of some public IPs in here, so I think we're good to do what we're going to do today, which is we have Postgres, and whatever, this is not a live video, so I can cut it out if I need to. Alright, so in Postgres, you can see that we have some things that need access, and some creations that we have here. So we have in the Postgres playbook, we have an HBA entry, we have the user creation in the database creation for the Postgres database. And so these here are, all of these, as you can see, are objects. And so we should be able to plug those in, basically copy and paste, and then just change what those look like. So we're going to do this, and this is going to be coming from this IP address, and that's fine because everything's local, but instead of Mattermost, this is going to be Odoo. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to do that again down here. And just so you guys understand how kind of we're doing this, what happens is when I run this playbook, these values are injected from the environment, which is, and the environment is injected using Doppler. And I can show you kind of the just file that does that, the runner that does that. I didn't see any specific, I don't actually think I need any of this stuff. I think okay, that should be good. So I think, so the locales and the template and the encoding were specific to Mattermost and Synapse, which is our matrix server. I didn't, and so those were documented. I didn't see any locale specific things or encoding things for Odoo. So I guess it's not as much of an issue. And so what I'm going to do now, off screen, is I'm going to go ahead and create these in Doppler, and then I'll be back in just a second. Alright, and we're back, and that is done. So those 4 values that we had going on, this one, this one, this one, this one, the Postgres values for Postgres user, Postgres database name, Postgres user password. Those 3, and then the DB user is the same as the Postgres username, and so we just do a link in Doppler to that. And good. Okay, so that's done. So we took care of that. So if we hop over to our notes file, that is now done. Right on here. Okay, so we did this. Okay, and then now we need to go to the installation docs. Before we do that, we need to run the Postgres playbook. So we can get out of here. Okay, and I told you I'd show you the just file, just so you kind of get an idea of what's going on there. So just is just a command runner, and you'll see it's got some different things in here that we do, or that we can do, but one of them is deploy. And so the deploy command goes into the Ansible directory, and then it uses Doppler run command as the prefix to the actual Ansible playbook command, and then it passes the playbook that we give, like as a script. It's just the first argument, excuse me, that we give to the deploy command, and it puts that here in front of the playbook. So it's actually pretty slick, and beats having to type this in every time or build out a super kind of a script that makes it that you have to source and et cetera, et cetera. And so there are definitely run commands you could do to give you the runners, but I really like, I saw another guy using just one time, and I was like, okay, that's pretty slick. Way better than using makefiles or something like that. So, so now we can go, I believe it's just called postgresql is the name of the playbook, and so we should be able to just run just deploy postgresql, and those 3 plays should return changed. It's an item loop. Yeah. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay, so that now gives us our user and our database. And so now we can SSH to Odoo, and we can start running through the documentation. This is really bright, so sorry about that, because that's kind of intense. Okay, so we're going to, like I said, we're going to do all this manually for now. So it uses wget, so I suspect I don't have wget on this machine. Do I have wget? Oh, I do have wget. I just don't have GPG. What is the name? GNUPG, is that right? So right here. This is the name of the after package. And that should work. Okay, cool. So if I run an ls on keyrings, I should see it there. There it is. Awesome. And then this is just creating our list file. So now if I go to, if this is what they usually put in here, yep, we should see what it had over there. So it's signed by the keyring that we just downloaded, and then there's the location to grab the dev file from. Alright, awesome, and so that works, and then so now we should be able to run, let's pop this back so it's easy to read. So that'll pull in the Odoo package, and you can see that in the list. You can see these guys here. I wonder why that one doesn't work. Anyway. Ooh-wee. I want to look for this. The W1. I don't actually see it in here. However, before we do that, since this says to do it, let's go and head and, what does it say to do? It says main, let's see here, apt this install grep wkhtml to PDF. We don't have it. And I think it's Python 3 wkhtml to PDF. Is that? Is it pip? No. Okay. Well, we'll do what it says and grab the. What is it? MD dev. That's it. And we're going to copy this. And then WK. And this. Errors were encountered while processing. Okay, that's alright, so alright. So we're gonna install that. See, this is the thing, right? These dependencies that I didn't know I was gonna need. So we're gonna install dash completion to make sure we can get through. Does fix broken install add those? Oh no, it just it just removes the package you just installed. That's funny. Okay, cool. Let's install that. Bash completion. Alright, and then we're gonna pull that back in. Alright, so now we can run This is actually pretty cool. I'm gonna grab these guys. So these guys are all dependencies now. So we're gonna throw those into the notes file for later. Dependencies for, sorry, I'll just do apps dependencies. Alright, boom. Okay. And then all this can be tabbed over. Cool. And then we this like that. And that. Okay. That's easy enough. And sweet. So install font config. Yep. libjpeg libjpeg 62 turbo. That one's not being tab completed. libx11. Oh, it's down here. Okay, hang on. libx11.6. libxcd1. libxext6. libxrender1. xfont 75 ppi. xfonts base. Alright, so let's just pull that one out and see if it comes in from any of the other ones. Oh, I don't see the JPEG one. That's interesting. We're gonna have to look that one up. Let's pull all of those in. Alright, sweet. Good. And I need to figure out apt list grep lib x jpeg. It's just right there. Did I put in? Sorry, lib jpeg, not lib x jpeg. Aha. Okay, so we have 62, and we have turbo, and we have turbo 8. Interesting. So I'm gonna grab this and do a quick search for it. That's funny. Those are the same packages. So I can either do regular or a turbo. Okay, so let's try this. Let's see. I don't know. Alright, and so now let's see if this works. Wait, is that even the right one? Did I botch this whole thing? No, okay. It just looks, it has a different name. It sounds like, oh wait, what? 2x, not 2pdf. Okay. Alright, never mind. I didn't botch it. How in the world am I supposed to get that? this is what I run this on. I run this on Ubuntu Mobile. It's a very old package. Alright. Okay, so this is why you do things manually first, because running a script that's completely blind would be super pain in the rear end, not knowing that these have all happened. Okay. And so it recommended this package. Okay. And then no, it didn't work. Okay. Dev isn't great. I don't like having to put all those dev tools in there. I mean, whatever. Nope. It has to have 62 turbo. Okay. Alright, so we just went back through and reversed all the things we just did with apt installations and things. I'm sorry that sound went off. Sure enough. Okay. Did I try just libjpeg? Did I try? What are our options here? Alright. What was it? libjpeg 62 turbo on mobile. Nope, I don't want wzip. Man, this is gonna be a pain. Ooh, I wonder if it's on Debian. What if we built this from Debian Trixie? Alright, let's do that. We haven't gotten very far, and so let's undo that. Okay. What if I came in here to Odoo and change this to, can I highlight this? No. This should cause a redeploy. Or destroy, and yeah, sweet. Let's just confirm. I want to add one to destroy, make sure it's the right one. Odoo, yep. It's alright. So we'll see it dying down, so we see it shutting down up here, and then it will be destroyed. And then it will be recreated. And then it will be called Odoo. So I guess maybe if you, those of you not familiar with kind of the workflow that we're doing here, we're using Terraform to provision the virtual machines, right? So you have the kind of the virtual machine configuration is in code, and then we use Terraform commands to kind of spin it up. So I could do it in here. I could right click, Debian, and then click clone, all that stuff, but it wouldn't have certain things that I like having. Like it wouldn't have the correct user. It would be whatever user was on this template, and it wouldn't have the SSH keys configured, and stuff like that. And I could do all that manually, but it's nice when it's just here, ready to go. So that's the automation, and then we're using Ansible to deploy after the fact, right? So day one, day two. So Terraform is day one, Ansible is day two. And so Ansible will add the software and stuff to it. So eventually Odoo will be an Ansible role that we can run to get things up and running. Okay, cool. Alright, so now let's go back to Odoo. Awesome. And then I'm not going to do any of the app stuff. We're going to pop right back over here. However, I am going to install sudo apt install bash completion. Oh, sweet. That one comes up in Debian by default. Okay, and we're going to install them. Also comes in Debian. Interesting. Okay, apt list rep libjpeg. Does it have 62 turbo? It does. It does in fact have 62 turbo. So we will have to do this machine on Debian for now. Debian Trixie is the most recent release, and so I'm not really worried about that. That should all be fine. Okay. Sweet. So let's pop right back down here and do the things that we said we were going to do. Oh, I don't know that it's going to have these packages. Let's see. Nope. Cool. This is pretty cool. I've never spent a whole lot of time making a lot of changes to Debian systems and installing stuff. There's a couple there. I believe we have a couple of servers that are running that I don't know that I've fully automated them that only support Debian. They don't support Ubuntu, and so I run them on Debian. So it should work. And then this, and I'm going to go through the process of Oh, right. And before we do that, though, we need to do this. And so I do wonder. Wait, where did it go? This. Is that right? Oh, wait. Trixie. Is Trixie in here? Oh, is Trixie not in here? Okay, so never mind. We are going to be running Bookworm. Not happy about that. Restart the whole thing again. While we wait for this to happen, I will do a quick shout out to what just occurred so that we can cut to here. So we got in, started working in the Ubuntu operating system, and did not have native packages for one of the dependencies needed for WKHTML PDF. For that package, we needed a dependency called libjpeg62-turbo, and that wasn't available in the Ubuntu package repositories natively. And instead of going through the process to figure out how to install it, we backed up to Debian. We were going to use Debian Trixie because it was the most recent installation or release of Debian, and Debian Trixie did not have a package available for or a deb package that was designed for it over here. The Bookworm may have worked, but I didn't want to go down that process of testing all that out. And so, because it'd be great to use things that are all native and supposed to work together as much as we can. So we're going to go Bookworm, and so what we're doing right here is, you can see, this is the second time we've recreated this virtual machine, this time with Bookworm on it instead of with Ubuntu or Debian Trixie. And now we will continue the video with the installation process. Alright, and then wget is there, and gnupg is not, so we need to install that. Okay, and now, sweet, and so we're actually going to start here with this guy. I suspect we're going to get some breakages. Where did it go? Right there. We're going to copy this link address. dpkg. Let's see if this just works. There were errors. Okay. This is probably all the same ones. It looks like all the same ones. So we're going to pop into our notes that we made earlier and install all these guys. So font config libjpeg 62 turbo because it's there. libx116 libxcv1 libxext6 libxrender1 xfonts 75 dpi xfonts base. Oh, because the package was available, it actually is installing what we were missing. Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty cool. Good. As you guys can tell, this is not a tutorial. This is a figure out how this stuff works kind of thing. Okay. Goodness. I should have done this already. This is let's say, sweet, it's installed. Alright, so we got what we needed there. Now we can come down here to this. That should just work. I know that I can grab, well actually I couldn't because the dollar sign is at the beginning. So that doesn't work actually. Oops. Alright, here we go. I have held broken packages. It depends on Postgres. It should not depend on Postgres. That's a silly problem. Oh, I guess no, it would need the client. Actually, no, that makes sense. Well, this is kind of stuck, isn't it? Why isn't okay? Can I get just this? Nope. That's pretty old. Postgres 15 is an old version of Postgres. This seems to be working. I wonder if I'm being throttled now. Oh, I lost the internet. Guess we'll find out. Oh, there it goes. Do I have pip? How does that work? I can't remember. Oh, is it that package? It's just an app package. I'm realizing that now. Okay. If I can get it installed with pip and that's good enough, then we should be fine. No. This. Yeah. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. This is becoming a frustration. So you know what we're gonna do? We're not gonna touch this. We're just gonna install Odoo, and the other one, we're gonna start all over again. We're going to change this back to Noble. Rebuild it. And we're just going to ignore the warning this time. Let's see how far that gets us. Cool. And okay. And we cook. Oh, I need to install this. This is using Postgres 16, which is much better, or it's better. I prefer to use Postgres 18, but I don't use it for the client, so it doesn't matter too much. Alright, if this just works, I'm going to punch a kitten. Just kidding, of course. That's a lot of new packages. Is Python 3 the W thing in here? No. Not there. Not there. Yeah, I don't even see it in here. So we're just gonna run it. That was a lot of stuff. Clearly written mostly in Python. This appears like it's gonna work, so probably should just skip the warning. So in the future, this is all jokes and fun here. In the future, skip the warnings. All right. Does it say where the configuration file is? Excuse me. Odoo RC. Okay. So is Odoo running right now? No. Wait, okay. Oh, that's crazy, okay. Alright, we install it. Nothing's running. Whew. Oh. No. So it's installed. Okay. Hmm. Wait. Sure can. Alright. None of this really works because it's not properly connected. But it is. Oh, it's because I was thinking. Oh, that's frustrating. It actually is connected to a database locally. Oh, that makes it really easy. Okay. Alright, well, that's enough for tonight. I'm going to stop recording. We will have to splice a lot of this stuff together later. But I'm going to bed.